No one was truly prepared for what happened that night. Seoul might be accustomed to glittering fashion parties, the rapid-fire strobes of camera flashes, and the elegant stride of celebrities walking the red carpet. But Love Your W Korea 2025 carried a different kind of electricity, quieter, heavier, and undeniably strange. It was the kind of night where every flicker of light seemed intentional, where every whisper felt rehearsed, and where the sudden appearance of RM, J-Hope, and V of BTS wasn't just a highlight, but a disturbance in the atmosphere itself. Reporters stood tightly packed, lenses polished, as if they knew something extraordinary had to be captured. The air was cold, tense, and oddly silent for an event of this scale. It felt as though everyone was holding their breath, not for an award, not for a fashion reveal, but for an unspoken truth that was hovering just beneath the elegant surface of the night. Something was about to happen. Or perhaps something had already happened, and this was the quiet before the storm. When the first black car rolled to a stop, a wave of anticipation rippled through the crowd. A security guard opened the door with a controlled, almost theatrical precision. Out stepped Kim Namjoon, RM, his expression calm yet unreadable. The sharp black suit framed his posture perfectly, but his smile held a quiet weight, an unspoken tension that fans had not seen before. Cameras exploded in a blinding storm of light, but RM acknowledged the crowd with the same restrained precision he has always mastered, as if he had already measured how many steps to take, how wide to smile, and exactly when to tilt his head for the perfect shot. Moments later, the second car arrived. J-Hope emerged, his usual radiant aura lighting up the red carpet. His warm smile cut through the cold like sunlight. Yet, for anyone observing carefully, there was a subtle tremor around his eyes, a flicker of fatigue, or perhaps worry, or perhaps knowledge of something the public hadn't yet discovered. Fans could sense it immediately. This was not just another glamorous night for the dance leader of BTS. Then came the moment that felt lifted from a noir film. A third vehicle stopped. The crowd hushed. Even the most seasoned reporters seemed to freeze, sensing the shift in the air. When the door opened, Kim Taehyung stepped out with gravity in every stride. His hair fell messily yet perfectly around his face, and his eyes held a storm of emotions. They were calm but sharp, distant but watchful. Cameras captured his beauty, but none could fully capture the strange, heavy aura surrounding him. What made all of this even more intriguing was the fact that their attendance had never been officially announced. They were not on any public guest list. They hadn't been teased by W Korea's promotional team. They simply arrived unannounced, unexpected, and undeniably synchronized, as though summoned for a purpose that wasn't meant for public knowledge. Rumors began swirling instantly. Did W Korea know something about the members' future plans, something the public wasn't meant to know yet? Was this a carefully planted signal of a group comeback? Or was it an attempt to quell the growing whispers about the members drifting in different creative directions, as fan sites rushed to upload crystal-clear photos? One particular candid shot went viral. It showed RM leaning toward V, whispering something while J-Hope stood slightly apart, his expression caught in an unguarded moment, neither smiling nor neutral. Fans who excel at reading body language dissected the image as though it were evidence in a major investigation. What was RM saying? Why did J-Hope look tense? And why did V's eyes flick upward as though checking on something or someone in the distance? Several witnesses reported that W Korea staff had unexpectedly rushed backstage moments before the BTS members arrived. One staff member allegedly said, "They're coming, prepare everything," despite the fact their names were not in any confirmed list. Another reporter claimed that their names were mysteriously added to the VIP list less than an hour before the event began. Inside the venue, the atmosphere was even stranger. A DJ's playlist abruptly paused for a few seconds, plunging the room into an uneasy silence before resuming. Lights dimmed unexpectedly. A staff member dropped a clipboard and scrambled to pick it up with a panic that didn't match the small accident. It was as though the arrival of the 3 BTS members had triggered a sudden change in the entire program, one that no one was ready to explain. When the trio finally stood together on the carpet, the air shifted again. RM seemed to be scanning the entrance for someone who never arrived. J-Hope maintained his smile, but kept glancing toward the production crew. V repeatedly looked up toward the second-floor balcony, his expression ghosting between caution and contemplation. It was clear, Their minds were not fully on the red carpet. Something else was happening behind the scenes. As more details trickled through the event, whispers began forming. Some guests swore they overheard fragments of conversation from a restricted room backstage. Phrases like, "They can't announce it yet," "Not tonight," and "Wait for HYB's signal" floated through the air like clues that didn't connect, but suggested a secret worth hiding. What were they waiting to announce? A long-awaited comeback? A new group project? A confidential collaboration? Or possibly a major shift in the structure of BTS's future activities? Some even speculated that the three members had come together not for celebration, but for negotiation, for a closed-door meeting that was conveniently disguised by the glitz of the charity gala. Then came the incident that changed the mood entirely. A spotlight flickered, sputtered, and went out, plunging part of the hall into darkness for 3 slow seconds. In those 3 seconds, several guests witnessed a silent exchange among the BTS members. V quickly turned toward RM pinched the bridge of his nose as though overwhelmed. J-Hope pressed his hand over his mouth, his cheerful facade collapsing into seriousness. When the light returned, they resumed their calm expressions as if nothing had happened. But those who saw the shift knew better. Something was wrong. Something was happening beneath the glittering facade. The members did not stay long. They left the event separately, each in a different black car, vanishing into the Seoul night as though being escorted away under a silent protocol. Reporters attempted to follow, but one car took an unexpected turn into an alley, another accelerated and disappeared at an intersection, and the third blended into traffic like a planned escape. Inside the venue, the tension lifted almost instantly. Staff looked relieved, too relieved for a simple celebrity exit. A photographer even claimed he was instructed to delete certain photos from his camera, photos that captured the members in angles that were too revealing. Whatever that meant, HYB issued no official statements. W Korea offered none either. Silence is often the loudest answer, and in this case, it only fueled more speculation. Were RM, J-Hope, and V sending a message about unity? Or hiding a growing fracture? Were they preparing for a comeback that required absolute secrecy? Or trying to protect something or someone behind the scenes? Or was this night the first spark of something much larger? Something that would eventually unravel itself in shocking headlines, unexpected announcements, and the kind of twists only the world's biggest group could generate. Whatever the truth is, the night of Love Your W Korea 2025 will be remembered as the night when 3 BTS members stepped into the spotlight with an energy too heavy to be coincidence, too calculated to be spontaneous, and too mysterious to be simply another fashion event.